right, we are here, and apologies for coming late. I was looking for a phone so I can read, if in case there are comments, I can read them instead of doing that. Hanyang, 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 and greetings, greetings, greetings. Now, we're going to talk about the spiritual humiliation test, right? And what are the benefits? And why do we do them as well? I mean, we're talking about things that can be done spiritually or physically, right? Spiritual humiliation test. Now, some of the humiliation that happens to us, they happen because, well, if you know, like it is as if like the spirits are saying, the consequences of this action is that. So that is when it becomes like you're humiliated due to acting in that particular way. So you have spiritual humiliation test. Humiliation, like in the dream state, you see that if you don't do this, it's like if you don't follow these rules, you see as well, even in the dream, the way you'll be humiliated, right? That is how they do it in the dream state. The spirits. Anyway, so the question is, I'm going to be answering this question. What is it about this humiliation test? Do we actually have mean spirits out there? And then who created this test? What are the benefits of this? That is number 3. Or is it only spiritual, or it has to be done like in real life, as in physical? This kind of humiliation, right? Now, I wouldn't have known about this kind of. Let me just explain what's humiliation. I've put it down to explain what humiliation is all about. Okay, humiliation is an act of aggression. If you humiliate someone or somebody, you have singled them out in front of their social group, or you made public something which makes them feel uncomfortable, right? Like the humiliation bit. You have forcefully committed the action which will undermine them, and but most especially, you have inflicted pain of shame. That is humiliation. You have inflicted pain of shame. Now, remember that as people, there are some things that we don't want to do, right? Like some boundaries that, if you cross them, they will lead to this, right? It's like a set of values that as societies we've created, right? We live this way because by living this way, we are making sure that others as well will treat us like this, because our actions, the way we behave, the way we think about things, people will take us this way, and we know what is good, what is bad, right? That is how we live our lives, right? But when it comes to doing something that you wouldn't even dare do in real life, you might think it, but you wouldn't dare, because you know that if you do that, it will lead to people thinking about you in a way that you wouldn't want them to think about you, right? Now, when we're talking about this humiliation, we're talking about the humiliation that is forced, like a we dare you. I'm talking about spiritual. This is metaphorical. We dare you to act this way, to humiliate yourself in that way. We dare you. How far can you get as a person? How far can you get to get what you want? How far can you go? How far? How far are you willing to go? And this is not like done just because you thought about it, that at some stage you're going to be asked, how far can you go, right? To get what you want? Or how far can you go to do things that will end up making your friends, your family, your community think about you in a different way because of your actions, the way you did things. They will taint you. Now, The question is, how far can you go to get what you want? Now, we are talking about spiritual humiliation. Now, this is the humiliation that you are dead to do something that you wouldn't normally do, because you know that it is not something that you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it because you wouldn't want to do it. But how far can you go? How far? How much do you want it? Whatever it is that you want, how much do you want it? Then are you willing to do so? Are you willing to let someone use their figurative hand to go to delve deep into your core being, to deep into it, to pull something out, so that everyone out there, the public, can just see all the things that you don't want them to see about you, and then they will think about you in a different way. That is, we're talking about humiliation. Now, this is spiritual humiliation we are talking about. We're not talking about when you're humiliating yourself in real life, right? We're talking about spiritual here. Like you're being dead in the dream, tested. Do that. Prove it to us that you can do that. Prove it. Now, let's get to the humiliation bit. Let's get to remember, as we are in the spiritual channel, we are ancestors people, spirits people, the source people. We believe in our ancestor spirits and guides to guide us on the spiritual path. So now, who creates these tests, this humiliation test? Remember, some they are done because you didn't act a particular way that is expected of you as a healer, or is expected of you as a human being. Therefore, you are the consequences. They are showing you that the consequences is that this humiliating thing about you will come out. The action. If you are told to do something and you don't do it, you're sure that the consequences of not doing this is this humiliation. That is something that it is there, right? But this one is like you have a choice. You have a choice. Now the question is, how far can you take it? How far are you willing to take it to get what you want, or to get to where you know once you break you've broken that boundaries, you'll get to the other stage. Humiliation rituals. Now let's talk about it. Who create these tests? All spirits create these tests. All spirits create this test, humiliation test. Like some are like the ones that they dare you. Some the consequences of your action will lead to this humiliation, right? There are two different ways. We dare you. Do this. If you do this, we know you can go far. Now, if you do this, this will lead to that. This one is not like we dare. Your action will lead to that. Consequences of humiliation. But we dare you. This one, we dare you. Now, that is all spirits. They will create those humiliation tests. Now, so what is it about? This, what is this about? Sharing your dirty laundries out there in public, or in the dream state, or exposing yourself in a way that you wouldn't want to expose yourself in the dream state. Therefore, making others look at you in a different way. It's either you're going to be looked at as someone who is not of a right mind, or someone who is not, there's something not right, or people will think bad about you, like as in you cannot be trusted. So as people, we want to be trusted. We want people to look at us with a good heart, right? Like, obviously, you understand. You want those kind of things. Now, in the dream state with this kind of metaphorical humiliation, is that whatever that you are there to do, it will lead to people distrusting you. people thinking badly about you, people thinking other things that deeply you don't want people to even imagine about you. That is humiliation. It is shameful. It is shameful. You do not want anyone thinking like that about you. You do not want even anyone even picturing it, picturing certain things about you, or you do not want even people. I mean, these are things that, the way we are raised, we know that those kind of things, remember that the humiliation will always play on what you believe to be totally, totally wrong. Some people wouldn't be humiliated by certain things that others are humiliated about, right? But you, as an individual, there are things that they will be done that you will know that you wouldn't do, yourself wouldn't do, others can do, but you wouldn't. So if someone dare you to do that particular thing, seriously, you really have to want something, or you really want to get to that next level to do it, because it is something that you wouldn't even, it is bigger than you could think of. That is humiliation we're talking about. Now, the other bit is, what are the benefits of this? What are the benefits of going this extra mile to do these kind of things? When you're being humiliated in this way, remember that it is like someone taking off. A lot of us are egoistic, right? We've got, look at me like this, I'm like this. I've got all these things about me that I want out there. So when they do that, that means you're gonna have to scrap they will take every last bit of your ego. The humiliation ritual, it will take every last bit of your ego, and there's no going back. I mean, even after that, you apologize like to people that look, because obviously you know it was wrong in the first place. The thing that you did that humiliated you, the one that they dared you to do, you've done it. After that, you will have to bring out, you have to show people that this is not something that you will do, isn't it? You will normally do in your conscious state, like thinking straight, rationally about things, right? So you apologize that, look, I've done that kind of thing because I didn't like, it was like I was tasked to do that. It was part of my test to do that particular thing. So therefore I apologize. But even if you do apologize, that means people will not look at you in that way that you thought of in the first place. There will always be that taint to your name, or taint to how people look at you. That is the humiliation you're talking about. But it is spiritual, the one that I'm talking about. It is spiritual, right? You are tasked to do that. You pass that task, then bravo. You just have to hope that you're not tested physically, because those kind of things, if you're tested physically, it is different. That's why it is spiritual humiliation test. Now, let me give you an example with my humiliation test. Remember, it plays on your fears, the worst bit of fears, and it plays on the worst bit of, the things that you wouldn't even want your friends, your family, your community to think that way about you. Right? Like that. Now, my humiliation test, which I didn't even, like I said, I didn't even know that they can do this kind of thing. Dare you? How far can you get? How far can you take it? How far? Now, my humiliation test was too personal and too private that if I were to see myself doing this kind of things that they show me, they dare me to do, which I did in the dream state, dare and do it physically in public space. I don't know if I will come out mentally all right. I'll be I don't know if I'll be able to put myself through that kind of test physically, I mean, as in real life, if it was not spiritual in the dream state. My values, the way I think about things, I wouldn't think that I would physically go through that kind of boundary about my set values, just so that I can show the spirit that I can do certain things to prove to them that I'm capable. But I did in the dream state, spiritual. Now, I'm going to leave you with the questions now that you think you need to question yourself about it. As in, if it happens to you, you're there to think about that. Remember this kind of humiliation, right? Humiliation. A lot of us, like, we are raised to think about certain things, right? Because humiliation is about going against what it is perceived by you to be a normal, normal way of doing things amongst your families, your friends, and your community, right? So the question is, what will it take for you to do those kind of, to behave in the way that you're being asked as a test to behave in the dream state or physical? What will it take for you? Would you actually do it? Would you do it? Would you do it? If you're told that by crossing this boundary, you'll get further up in your spiritual journey, would you do it? Would you afford to physically humiliate yourself? Because spiritually I've done it, so physically, that's the question I'm asking. Would you afford to physically do it? To humiliate yourself? Do something, like a example. Let's say the test is go in front of go in front of your friends in your friend's house. You're told, right, that you need to do this to prove to us that you're capable. To prove to us that you can do it, right? Prove this to us. Humiliate yourself in this way. You are around your family or your friends, or you're there in your friend's house or your family's house and stuff like that, and you ask, expose yourself. Like, expose yourself as in, remember that I'm giving you an example because not some people they'll find there's nothing wrong with that. Expose yourself. Show, like, walk naked. Go in front of I'm talking about physical. Go in front of your friend's husband or go in front of your family member. Make it like you want them to lust over you. This is humiliation, to lust over you and stuff like that. Or do something like that. You're on your period as a woman. You're on your period. Wear something, tissue stuck there, falling down, being pulled all over the place, walking right like in the middle of the whole family. The families are they're there having a meeting and stuff like that. Do that, and you're there eating something like it is normal, right? Would you be able to do that as part of your humiliation? To prove to the spirit that you can do it. I'm just giving you a little bit because these are the kind of things that for me, I look at them as exposing yourself like that. It is something that I wouldn't do, especially having to make the people that I hold close to think of me like that. Or, as in people, I'm talking about friends and family, because this is public display of things that I wouldn't want to do, right? Things like that. You're there, do it. And when this humiliation are done spiritually, they don't prepare you. Like, we're gonna do it like that. It is random. It is random. You are not prepared that you're gonna be doing this. It's not something you plan, or that, I'm gonna get ready. Anytime the spirits might humiliate, might ask me if I can go this far to do this humiliation thing. Now, even me, I didn't know about it, this kind of spiritual humiliation, until my humiliation in the dream, spiritual. I didn't know that it is possible. But remember, this is metaphorical. These kind of things that happen is metaphorical. They're just showing you the part that you will go how far you go. If you're being asked, can you be trusted? Because if you can take yourself that far, if you can take yourself that far, if you want it that much, you will do this humiliation thing. If you want it that much, you will do things that others wouldn't dare do. Anyway, that was just that. And I think I've talked about that is what the spirits will do sometimes with us. It's like we have these mean spirits out there. But it's not like that. Remember that this is like a test. Now you go through humiliation test, right? And this one, I'm not talking about the things that a lot of us, we have to go through physical suffering. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about deep rooted fears within your inner core, your inner being. Like this, you cannot want it out there. It's like a something deep within that is, it will deeply affect you. It's like you wouldn't want that bit. So you go through that. Plays on your fears, your deep rooted fears. Anyway, that is just that. We were talking about the spiritual humiliation. Yes, it happens. It happens. Yes, it happens spiritually in the dream state, and it happens. Some people, they are being asked to do this physical, depending on what it is that the step that you're going to be taking. Humiliation. Now, that is just that. Hanya.